Welcome in the latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bretton. Go by SEC Mike on the Twitters. And there he is, everybody's favorite cousin Shane, the big Tennessee Homer. How's it going, brother?
Hey, bud, what's going on?
Oh, I was just telling you off air. I just got off with another great interview. So if you haven't already, go check it out. Wait till this is over before you go check it out. But Neil McCready posted that today.
Yeah.
Really great conversation with Neil. And then Gabe DeOrman from Power Mizzou. I'm going to post that probably tomorrow to preview this big Missouri Texas A&M game.
Hell yeah, man. Already saw the first one, second one, looking forward to it, Mike. Busy. I mean, I'm telling you, brother, I'm putting my picks together. And remember yesterday I was telling you I was confident? Well,
Yeah.
I started re-looking at these lists, and the more and more unconfident I got in them because I feel like this is another Saturday full of top football games that may come down to the final possession, and damn, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, all but one I'm confident in, Shane. So I can't wait to see which, reveal that here coming up in a second. But hey, don't forget, tonight, family reunion. After this show, we're going to go do not live. Well, I guess it will be live, but a Zoom. Mm-hmm. I haven't even sent Cousin Shane the link. I'm seeing people in the comments. How do I get it? You got to get it off YouTube. I know it's very confusing, but I didn't know how else to do it. But if you're an official cousin, you're a member of the channel, just like Diesel. Shout out Diesel.
Hey,
he just
Diesel
became a member of the channel. So hopefully we'll see you there tonight, Diesel. But if you go on YouTube and you're an official member, you'll see a link. You'll see a passcode. And it's just for this one episode. So we're not filming it. We're not recording it. Who knows what's going to happen? I got a fun story to share on the family reunion, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, brother. Absolutely. This is, again, I've been talking about it for the last few days. It's just good to put faces and names together, but it's going to be a little bit more laid back, man. We're just gonna. It's like we're at a family reunion. We're going to tell stories on each other. I'll probably need to get some more beers for this thing, and looking forward to it, man, for sure.
Matt says, Mike and the milkman.
Buddy, I tell you what, I didn't think I was lactose intolerant, but boy, I paid for it today.
Hey, what a guy. Shout out Cousin JR.
Hey, thanks, cuz.
Just gifted another membership, this time to Randy Payne. So welcome to the family, Randy. Hopefully we'll see you there at the reunion. You know what?
Oh, yeah, man.
But hey, as always, Shane, got to remind the folks real quick before we get the show going. We're brought to you by MyBookie, the online sports book. Head on over to mybookie.ag. That's the website, mybookie.ag, and put in that promo code that SEC. It's THATSEC. And what's that get you, Shane? Double your initial deposit over at MyBookie with the promo code that SEC. How confident are you, Shane, that you're going to give these people a lock worth listening to?
Brother, I'm about to double that money. I feel it, man. I got a little bit off the path last week, but, I got King Henry now, and I've not lost a bet since I've had him. So he may be my good luck charm.
Hey, shout out Cousin Benjamin.
Hey, Ben.
Appreciate you, brother. Just became a member of the channel. So, yeah. Yeah. King Henry is undefeated. Of course, he hadn't won a game yet. Come on. What are we talking about, Shane?
Only optimism in Cousin Shane's house today, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, looking over my show notes here, Shane. Real quick, hey, let's recap it. So also, if you're a member of the channel, I always ask on Friday, give me your picks.
Yeah.
And we'll highlight those that did well. We'll highlight those that did wrong, just like us, Shane. Shout out, first of all, Cousin John Bethia. How about this? He didn't get the score exactly right, but I'm going to give him credit anyway. Kentucky, 44. Ole Piss, he says, 7. So he nailed who won that game, so give him credit. Cousin Joe Coley, he had Kentucky 23, Ole Miss 20. Damn near nailed the final score right there. So shout out Joe Coley. How about Cousin Matthew D, Shane? He had Kentucky 28, Ole Miss 24. We ought to be listening to these cousins. Jeez. You know what?
Yeah, I'm telling you what. What was that handle again?
And then Cousin Michael Riley, lock of the week, he nailed it. Maybe we ought to just listen to him for locks. Kentucky will cover the spread. How about that?
Nice.
And then Sugar Shane, which this may be your secret name here.
Stage name.
He had the Aggies beating the Hogs as his lock of the week. He nailed it. And then he said Mississippi State 999, Texas 0.
Wow. Okay.
He missed that one, though. He missed that one.
Just by a little bit.
Now, who were the cousins that absolutely missed the boat, Shane? Highlight our guy, Cousin Danny. Still waiting for him to eat the Wildcat poop. Not even talking about that. But here's his lock of the week was Auburn, Oklahoma, under 46.5.
Ooh.
Wrong. It went over. Ole Miss minus 15.5. Wrong. Georgia wins. Wrong.
Is this all Danny?
Yeah.
Damn, he just maybe we need to spade him, man.
And then how about Cousin David Chambers? Lock of the week. Ole Miss 38. KY Jelly 9.
God.
But those were the. I don't want to highlight everybody that had it wrong because hell, we got all our locks wrong too. You know what?
Absolutely. Hey, that was last week, Mike. We got this week coming up, and like I said, I'm feeling locked in. I'm ready to make some money. I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm always ready, Shane. But before we make people money with my bookie, we got to make them money with the Prize Picks, Shane. Daily fantasy sports. The go-to spot is Prize Picks. Not only they got college football, they got NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. They got it all covered at Prize Picks. But we love it because they got the SEC and all college football selections. So head on over to Prize Picks. You play $5, get $50 instantly, Shane, with that promo code SEC. And I may not be able to pick a game to save my life, but I can pick some Prize Picks. You know what?
Absolutely. And you know what else I like about Prize Picks? It's for any game. You know, I saw something, I think they said the next 55, 56 days, we're going to have some sort of football on our TV, whether it be through NFL or college. Right. This is where Prize Picks really comes in because you're watching a team that you don't know. Doesn't matter. Pick you a handful of players to do some awesome things and make some money.
Right. And you only need 2 to be a winner at Prize Picks. If you do more, you can do up to 6. The more you do, the more you win. But I'm going to give you 4 winners right here, Shane.
All right.
Theo Weiss, outstanding receiver from Mizzou. 49.5 receiving yards against A&M. Give me the more than. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it, man. I like it. Absolutely.
Now, you already know, Shane. You already know. Luther Burden, come on. More than 68.5 receiving yards against them Aggies.
They're going to try to get it to him in every way possible. So, yes, give it to me.
And then here's another one they do over at Prize. It's interesting how many options they give you.
Yeah.
A&M running back, Le'Veon Moss. Very good running back. He's emerged as the go-to running back for A&M this season. Dominated the fourth quarter against Arkansas is a big reason why the Aggies won that football game. But not a huge home run threat. Right. So at Prize Picks, more than or less than longest rush, 16.5. I guess Missouri, I'm going to say less than. Doesn't mean he's going to have a bad day, but I don't see him busting a 17-yard rush or longer. Do you?
Boy, that's tough, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough bet, too, you know, because you're waiting to the very end of the game. You're like, you just know he's about to do it. So, absolutely. You start out the game winning, but you could lose very quickly. That's a tough one for me.
And then A&M's kicker, Randy Bond. I think he's kicked more field goals than damn near anybody in the SEC, Shane. 1.5 field goals made. Give me the more. I think he gets at least 2 in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, he's been nailing them, brother.
And then one more. Because all this hate, Shane's got nothing to do with the players, the fans, especially not Peyton Thorne. It's got everything to do with Hugh Freeze. Give me the more than. I think Peyton Thorne's heating up, Shane. 177.5 pass and rush. So you get to combine the two. Yeah. 177.5 total yards. Give me the more than. I think Thorne gets at least 180 total yards.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good for 3 quarters last week, so I feel like he is getting better and going to have to be a big piece to pull this upset off.
And last season, Shane, it was his running that really affected Georgia and kept Auburn in that football game. So I think he could have, obviously he's not Jalen Milroe, but we just saw a running quarterback can really test Georgia's defense.
Yeah, they're almost identical, aren't they?
Yeah. Not quite. But all right, buddy, enough of the Prize Picks. Are you ready to get into the actual picks for the weekend?
Yes, sir. sir.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. Shout out
No,
before we do that.
sir.
No, sir. Weather report, man. We almost
yeah.
forgot it.
Jeez.
From our guy, James Bryant. He's going to give us the lowdown. Some good weather, thankfully. Not like last weekend, but let's kick it over to James Bryant, KATV. He's going to give us the weather breakdown before we pick these games.
All right, week 6 is upon us. Here's your SEC football forecast. We have a great weekend of games lined up for us. 6 games across the footprint and great weather for most of them. I bet you can guess where the worst weather would be. That'd be Gainesville, Florida. We're going to start with the 11 a.m. game, the only top 25 matchup of the week. That's Missouri at Texas A&M. That's noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. It'll be 81 degrees at kickoff, partly cloudy skies. A few scattered storms are possible late in the day there in College Station. Next up, we go into the next time slot, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Got a couple of good games in this time slot. Auburn at Georgia. We'll see if Auburn can hang on. It's going to be warm at this game, 86 degrees at kickoff, light winds, partly cloudy skies. Next up, we go to Columbia, South Carolina. They're hosting number 12 Ole Miss, another big home game for South Carolina. Weather's going to be good. I think middle of the afternoon there, the temperature will be 85 degrees. We'll have partly cloudy skies with light winds. Now we go to Nashville for 4:15 Eastern time kick, 3:15 Central. Vanderbilt is hosting number 1 Alabama. It'll be 85 at kickoff, mostly clear skies and very light winds. Now, what I consider to be one of the biggest home games for Arkansas is this weekend. Number 4 Tennessee heads to Fayetteville. This is the ABC night game. Arkansas finally gets the spotlight. It's at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. It'll be 83 degrees at kickoff. Perfect weather in Fayetteville. Temperatures will fall into the 70s during the game. We'll have light winds and clear skies. The final game of the day is 7:45 Eastern. This is UCF at Florida. We have a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. Continue to monitor that forecast. It could change over the next day or so, but it'll be 80 at kickoff and humid with a northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. You guys have a great weekend. A lot of great football for us to watch.
Shane, how perfect is it that we got the only thunderstorms, cloudy skies coming to Gainesville with Central Florida coming in to face Billy Napier and the Gators?
Oh, my gosh. It's always raining in Gainesville, ain't it? Huh? I was just watching that, if my mom's watching this, she's so proud of that kid. She's just, all the things, this shit comes back to us. She's got, damn, Shane, you should have stayed in school. You could have been something,
Yeah, so shout out James Bryant again for that outstanding weather report. Really adds something each week, and can't thank him enough for it.
Absolutely. I love the weather.
Well, speaking of doom and gloom here, Shane.
Oh, God.
Only non-conference matchup of the weekend. Just references Central Florida at Florida, Shane. Trying to throw up a little graphic here. But the Gators, unbelievably, Shane, this is where we're at. I mean, I'm trying not to make fun of them, but my word, Shane, they're an underdog at home against Central Florida. 2.5 points Central Florida is favored by. The over-under 61.5 total points. This is that night game, 7:45 Eastern kick on the SEC Network. Who do you like in this one, Shane?
Oh, it's a shame, isn't it, that the Florida Gators are underdogs at this matchup. And again, not taking away from anything Gus Malzahn's done or KJ Jefferson. UCF is an upcoming program that's kind of always stayed toward the top of their division. Now they're in the Big 12. I think at some point they will make some noise. It looked a little rough last week. Of course, KJ has that kind of has that stigma in the big games. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Is this considered a big game? I think so, because they are favorites coming into this matchup, and every negative Florida Gator fan out there cannot wait to watch them lose it. I mean, it's like you said, it's raining, it's doom and gloom, it's Billy Napier, it's week after week. Is he getting fired this week? You don't get fired if you win football games. They won at Mississippi State. They had a bye week at a crucial time. I feel like they've gotten healthy. Billy came out earlier this week and talked about the young kids. They're starting to play better. They're starting to play together. And I feel like this is a Florida team that's on the cusp of doing special things. But It is the Florida Gators.
There's always a but there.
I know. It is the Florida Gators. And with that comes an asterisk after every pick. Mike, there's no reason that Florida should not beat the shit out of UCF. But they won't. They'll barely win 31, UCF 30, Morristown Honda right out of the gate. I have zero confidence in the Gators, even though I should be coming in this thing as 2-3 score touchdown leads. You know, that's what should happen, but this is what's going to happen. It's going to come down the wire, and we're all going to have our Billy Fire tweets ready.
Lock in the week home game, night game at that.
Yeah.
This ain't like an 11 a.m. Central kick. This is a night game. Fans should be out of their mind. This is a team, if we had a coach down here, Shane, we'd win by 50 points.
Yeah.
We'd win running away. But I can't disagree with a lot of what you said. I mean, if you just look at how the game breaks down, and this is not total stats, this is efficiency stats, which in my mind is they're much more valid. Central Florida, number 9 rush offense in the country. Florida, number 100 rush defense. Central Florida, number 1 third down defense in the country, efficiency. And then Florida, number 87. Florida, but here's where they can get the edge. Florida, number 34 pass offense. UCF, 120 pass defense. Shane.
They gonna air it out?
We got multiple quarterbacks. We got all these receivers that we're not utilizing. But we do got these quarterbacks, Shane. And if it's one thing I know about Billy, he does know how to develop a quarterback. Say what you will about, and you can say a lot of bad things about him. The one thing you can't say bad about him is he gets the most out of these quarterbacks. So I think they're going to have a field day, 2 weeks to prepare. UCF just got embarrassed. I don't know if Colorado games get national but I think they must.
They will for a few more weeks.
Yeah, all I hear about is them nonstop on these channels. So that must have been nationally televised. Give me Florida. Lock of the week, Shane. This is how confident I am. 35 for them Gators. 28 for Central Florida, a touchdown. But hell, we're underdogs. We're underdogs at home to Central Florida. Give me a win by a touchdown at home at night. I think the crowd plays an edge if the crowd even shows up. And it's not the fans' fault. If they don't show up, it's because they got no respect for Billy and the direction of the program.
Yeah.
It's not because they're not great fans. But I say this, Shane, that's my lock of the week. I've locked Florida up once this year, and I was dead wrong. If I'm dead wrong again, and Billy Napier is still the coach on Sunday when they get steamrolled by Central Florida, I will start drinking every show because I'll be that depressed and that down because the direction of Florida football will be in the toilet. You know what?
Well, it's just embarrassing too. I mean, you opened up with Miami. You know, a lot of people had their eyes on not just Florida but the SEC. And we got a black eye out of that situation. And now it's just a constant embarrassment. If UCF rolls in here, they're going to claim that their conference is better than the SEC. We don't want to deal with that nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just come out here and get the win. Mike, if this game were week 1 instead of Miami, I would have said Florida by 20. But because of what I've seen the last 5 weeks, I'm just not convinced. I have to see some more good games and their schedule. You got the schedule pulled up, man. This is it. You know what I'm saying? You've got to get this one, get some more momentum, stack 2 wins on top of each other before you go to Knoxville because you're going to need all the momentum you can have.
Now, on the flip side, Shane, we're doom and gloom over here, but if they win it, they're on a 2-game winning streak.
Yep.
Going into this massive Tennessee game, and we all know the mojo there. I mean, they'll be playing with house money. Mm-hmm. They'll be underdogs probably by 17 points, something crazy like that. Again, I'm not saying they'll beat Tennessee, but they'll be playing with house money, and suddenly I think, I don't know, I would be a little bit excited about Florida, what they could do if they can get this one.
I'm not excited, Mike. I don't even want to talk about that. There's a half marathon on the line of that football game, so I don't even want to talk about it right now.
Okay. Well, I'm just throwing it out there, Shane. All right, how about this? Todd says, well, it looks like 6 losses in a row to me. That's the other side of it. Yeah, we could go that way. All right, how about this matchup, Shane? Mighty Alabama at Vanderbilt. This is going to be the 4:15 Eastern kick on SEC Network, 3:15 Central Time. Alabama favored by 22.5 points. The over-under, 54.5 total points. Who do you like in this one?
Oh, man. Like I said, this could be a fun game to watch. I don't think it's going to be a close game, but I think it'll be a fun one, entertaining. I really think it dictates on the mentality that Alabama has coming into this thing. If they just feel like they could show up, show out, get some points and go home, this isn't the Vanderbilt Commodores that you had the last 5 years, Mike. This is a Vanderbilt team that took Mizzou to overtime. This is a Vanderbilt team that surprised Virginia Tech. This is a football team that if you give them an opportunity, they will take a mile. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now. Maybe not. I don't know how well his NFL stock will be, but he's a true gamer, man. If you're playing flag football, this is a guy you want on your squad because he's going to do anything and everything he can to put points on the board. The problem I'm having, Mike, is this is not the same Alabama either. I feel like last week was an eye-opener that this could potentially be one of the best team in the country. And well coached, I think these boys come in here and they lay them on thick. Unfortunately, I don't think Vanderbilt keeps this one close. So give me Alabama 49, Vanderbilt 14.
All those nice things you said about Vanderbilt, then you said they're just going to get their ass stomped here.
Again, I'm not saying that if you come in here, there's potential for this to be a closer game, obviously. If you're gambling, which we usually are, I think it's intriguing on the betting lines. But I just feel like this Alabama team is not – we've got them stenciled in to what Crimson Tide is. And we got to realize this is a new coaching staff. This is a new football team. And say what you want, DeBoer's out here to prove everybody wrong. I know he's – undefeated and people are saying he's doing well and they're constantly comparing him to Nick Saban, but nobody wants to live in that shadow. You create your own. And I feel like that's where we're at with Alabama. These guys are out to prove their own.
What about those that say DeBoer ran out of tricks, though, after the first quarter against Georgia?
Oh, shit. Nah, he ain't going to need them against Vanderbilt, man.
Yeah, I hear you, Shane. I hear you. But you know who else is hearing you? It's the players. After whipping Georgia's ass for a quarter and then barely hanging on. But again, they're on cloud nine. They're going on the road, even though it'll technically be a home game because there'll have more fans there than Vanderbilt. I don't know. I am kind of buying in everything you said about Vanderbilt and the way they play. And they're sort of like triple option, time of possession, don't make mistakes. Diego Pavi doesn't have an interception yet this season. Now, it's not like he's throwing it all over the yard, but at the same time, they're being very careful with the football. They're generating explosive plays. That's what we saw against Missouri. Should have beat Missouri, quite frankly, I think. But, so give me the combination of Alabama winning the game of the year, game of the century or whatever, till the next one in about 2 weeks. But Alabama, the big win, nationally relevant now. Again, I don't want to say they were an afterthought, but they were somewhat of a mystery until last week, and then now beating Georgia in the fashion they did. They're the talk of the country. No one's respecting Vanderbilt and the progress being made. Give me upset Vanderbilt 17, Alabama 35. So Vanderbilt covers the spread. I don't think Alabama, if they played their A game, yeah, they would cover and probably cover easily. But I like Vanderbilt, kind of a little bit of a hangover, a little sleepwalk. Who knows? They're coming to Nashville. Might be a little groggy. Who knows? Yeah. I know they don't let the players out, but let's say that they all snuck out and went to Broadway the night before or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'll be that type of ball game. I really do.
Oh, man. I hope that's what happens, Mike. I hope we catch him out on Broadway.
All right, how about another one, Shane? Big-time rivalry. Auburn at Georgia. This is the best game in terms of pure hatred on the schedule this weekend. Georgia favored by 23 points. The over-under, 52 total points. Game kicks off at 3:30 Eastern on ABC, 2:30 Central. Georgia has won 7 in a row in this series and 10 of the last 11. Who wins this one?
Who wins this one? I think we know who wins this one, Mike. I mean, we can pretend that Auburn is going to go to Athens and pull off a stunning upset. We could pretend that Hugh Freeze is going to magically become a great football coach and Peyton Thorne has 0 turnovers in a football game. We could do all that pretending, but we know exactly what's going to happen here. You've got a battered Georgia Bulldog. You've got an embarrassed Georgia Bulldog, and they've never been there before, man. I know Kirby said all those sweet things after the game, but you better believe he's been on their ass the entire week. He has been on. I can't remember what game it was 2 years ago. They snuck in a mic during practice, and it was just constant ass chewing because that's what these boys needed. They needed to wake up. They needed to come out here and play like a top 3 team in the country, which right now they have not been. They haven't been able to do it since week 1. So I'm not going to play around with their food here today, Mike. Georgia Bulldogs beat the shit out of Auburn. So give me 38. Auburn, 7.
Oh, 38-7. Come on, Shane.
I know. And here's
What do
the
you
one.
Why? You hate Hugh Freeze?
No. Yes. No. No. I don't hate him. I don't hate anybody. But
Yeah.
I will say this, Mike. This is the one I changed. And one thing that's intriguing is the line has moved a little bit more toward Auburn's favor. So what I did here and I'm not saying that this happens, but yesterday I had this a 38-17 game. I had Auburn kind of nickel and dime because one thing that Peyton Thorne can do is move the football. You know, one thing that Georgia had problems with last week especially was getting off the football field, especially on 3rd down. So I see an opportunity, but the problem is coming off that game with Alabama, I don't think you overlook a team like Auburn like you did last year. They're completely dialed in, and this is a good time to sharpen your knives, and mainly on that defense. I feel like the defense especially got embarrassed last week, so look for them to be suffocating this week. They know Auburn's weakness, and I've watched several teams live in the backfield there on the Plains, so don't think Georgia ain't licking their chops to get down there.
Isn't that the same thing you said last week, though? The dogs are going to be pissed. Dogs are going to be angry. Well, I mean, maybe this is just the dogs that they are. Maybe they're just not elite.
Mike, I'm telling you, this week, it's called pretenders and defenders, you know? So either you've been pretending this whole time, and I'm going to be done defending you moving forward. But this is the week I feel like we've got to have some separation. Is Georgia a good football team? Are they a team that truly can win a national championship? I think it's decided today. Now, I don't think there's any chance that Auburn wins this football game, but I think there's going to be moments in this football game where we're going to say, okay, last week could have been a fluke. That second half of that ball game against Alabama, this team decided that they wanted to play some damn football. That's what I'm hoping happens this week. But if I'm wrong and Hugh Freeze somehow pulls off a miracle here, I'm not doing a bet. I'm so bad on bets right now. I've drank milk. I've cleaned dog pens. I brought home a cat, for Christ's sake. I'm not doing any bets right now. But I will say this feels like it has to be Georgia's win.
Well, and hell, you got a marathon bet next week.
Oh, I know. I've been walking a little more, you know. I went into Walmart instead of getting the pickup, you know, just in case.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to get it twisted, Shane.
Yeah.
Again, we're not saying Georgia's like dog shit or anything. I think what I'm trying to say is coming into the season, I think the consensus, and I'm saying even outside of Georgia fans, because everyone's viewpoint's a little skewed, right?
Yeah.
But I think the consensus was Georgia and everybody else down here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, I think it's Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia. I think they're all kind of grouped together. Is that fair?
That is fair. Absolutely.
Now, that can change in a heartbeat, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's not just Georgia's going to run away with it, which that was a legitimate question people were asking. Is it Georgia and everybody else? Now, I think there's a huge separation, and again, I could be proven wrong, but I think there's a huge separation between those 4 and then number 5 in the SEC. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, by that logic, Shane, well, I can't tie it together, but I think Georgia, same thing I was saying about Alabama. I think they're gonna come down a little bit. I think they're going to be sleepwalking. They're going to do the same thing Cousin Shane's doing, saying, Auburn, they can't play. Have you seen Hugh Freeze? Who's he going to blame this week when we blow their ass out? You know what I mean? Kirby's mad. Kirby's cursing. Kirby's hugging us. I mean, my God, I never saw Nick Saban hug guys after a loss. Maybe Kirby's lost his edge. I don't know what's up with that. But no. I think this is a duel here, Shane. I think this is Auburn's opportunity to shock the world, turn their season around. If they were to beat Georgia, all ills are forgotten. They just landed an elite quarterback. I mean, all's right on the plate, Shane. They're not 2-3. They're 3-3 after they beat Georgia. I think that's the mindset this week on the Plains. Completely saved the season. I think they play the game. I thought they played outstanding last week.
Yeah.
Except for a pick six. But, they would have won if not for that. So I look for them to keep that momentum, get away from the Plains, be a little bit more confident, give Georgia the game of their life, Shane. Give me Georgia 27, Auburn 17. So I think it's a close one. But I think in the fourth quarter, Georgia pulls away. But I think Auburn covers easily.
Easily.
I mean, the spread's 23. I got it as a 10-point game.
I know. And now it's down to, I think, 20, if I'm not mistaken, or 22 is what I saw last. So this is another one that is moving quite a bit. A lot of bettors on that Auburn
maybe
side.
I should give Auburn some more points.
They just scored another field goal.
All right, how about this one, Chad? I'm still waiting to see your lock. We haven't got to it yet, but
no, we haven't.
Who knows? It could be here. Let's see. Big game, night game, Shane. Tennessee at Arkansas. Tennessee favored by 13.5 points on the road, over under 57 points. Mm-hmm. This game kicks off 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC. Who are you liking this one?
Oh, who do I like? I like them both, man. That's the problem. I got two of my favorite kids here. We're at the reunion, and I'm trying to pick between the two, and we all know where Big Orange Vols is going. But I will say this, Mike. I think that this could be a really exciting football game. Don't be surprised if Arkansas doesn't come out here and score first, maybe score twice, and then all of a sudden have Tennessee against the rope, something that they've not done this year. I don't think Tennessee's played from behind once this entire season. I think they're one of few teams that have done that.
Only 4.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity for Arkansas to come. What do you got to lose? This is kind of what we've been saying all week. I felt like we got a little too conservative last week, but this is an opportunity to just let your hair loose, man, and just go to town, because this is a football team that really hasn't been tested, in my opinion. Tennessee Vols, say what you want about the teams that they've played. They've not played a good offense, Mike. They've played a lot of really good defenses. They've not played a good offense. And Tennessee gets a lot of respect for that defense department, but I feel like they're going to have their hands full a little bit this week until we have a turnover, because this team loves turnovers. I think they've had the last 3 games, something like that. They cannot get out of their way. There's a part of me that's concerned that this is the week that Green figures it out, that this is the week they play flawless football and they win in the turnover department and makes this thing come down to the wire in the fourth quarter. There's part of me that says that. But then there's also a part of me that says, you know what? Tennessee hasn't had that game yet where they just really opened it up. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to do that. I think they're bringing out the orange lids. Mike, this is not going to be a football game at all. Give me Tennessee big, 42. Razorbacks, 20.
When's the last time they wore those orange helmets?
Well, we won't talk about that. We won't talk about it. I was kind of worried when it came out. I was like, wait, didn't we lose the last time those things were out?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I do think, though, how crazy is this, Shay? We're so early in the season. Arkansas fans, not all of them, because I think smart ones see the progress that Sam Pittman's made.
Yeah.
But clearly just frustrated losing all these one-possession games, which I would be frustrated too. But point being, they're down on Pittman. They're down on the program. They're looking ahead already to next season. Who's going to be the coach? All this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, Tennessee's flying in the mountaintops. We're headed to the college football playoff. If Arkansas beats Tennessee, big if, but if they do, Arkansas's ahead of them in the SEC standings. I mean, that's how young we are in this season, Shane. It can flip just like that. So,
Yep.
Again, I don't think this is quite a blowout like you and all these Tennessee homers. I see them in the comments. They're just, Arkansas. All right, come on, Arkansas. They jumped out right out on Texas A&M. They jumped out on Oklahoma State. Both games away from home. This is only the second true home game Arkansas is going to have this season. So I think the fans will be, just like in a riot mode. This is going to be a night game. They very, very rare. The SEC hates Arkansas. I don't know. We love Arkansas. SEC hates them. Never gives them night games. They've given them one here, and then they've had their here all week, Shane. How it ain't because of them. It's because of Tennessee. That's why we're getting a night game down here. That's probably true. But, again, I think, Shane, Tennessee is on upset alert this weekend. I really do. I think they caught a big break on the injury report. Came out yesterday. Lance Hurd, left tackle, he wasn't even listed on it. Now, does that mean he's going to play out? I don't know, but he's not even on it. We'll see here in about an hour. They'll post the new one if he's on that one. But Shane.
Yeah.
This is just the Tennessee way, and it lose these big games that nobody sees coming. They're already looking ahead to Florida. I'm already here looking ahead to Alabama. Shane, game of the year. It ain't going to be game of the year when you drop to Arkansas. Give me Arkansas, 20, Tennessee, 35. Come on, 2 touchdown win. Come on. Now, would Tennessee of old lose this game? Hell yeah, they would.
Yeah.
But I think the key difference, Shane, had Tennessee played a game let's say Oklahoma, a tough, hard-fought, physical game where guys getting banged up, I think Tennessee might lose this game.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is Tennessee's going to have 2 weeks to prepare. Arkansas is coming off a terribly brutal game against A&M, very physical, and a lot of the same things A&M can do on defense, Tennessee can do on defense, get after Taylon Green. It's going to be paramount, like we played the clip. Arkansas's got to get off to a fast start, keep that crowd in the game. If Tennessee is the one that gets off to a fast start, they're going to blow them out. I think this is – I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but
Yeah.
I think there's a danger of it.
Well, but you could also turn. I hate to do the ifs and buts, but if they did not shoot themselves in the foot against Oklahoma State, if they did not do it against Auburn and Texas A&M, they're 5-0, and I know they won the Auburn game, but they could have really. I mean, they could have beat the brakes off Auburn if they would have not made the mistakes they did.
Basically, every time Auburn made a mistake, they made one.
Exactly. So there's a scenario where Arkansas would have been 5-0 coming in this football game, a top 15 football team, game day there. I mean, it would have been absolutely nuts. And then we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd be talking about how close this game could be. And I feel like that's the biggest fear of this ball club in particular is what if they do not make those mistakes during this Tennessee football match? Then all of a sudden, Tennessee's playing a top 15 team, and they cannot afford to make mistakes themselves, which Nico has made a few. So I feel like this is a very sneaky football game. It could either be a blowout or a damn close upset. It could be one of two. So I'm just leaning a little more toward the blowout just because I have seen some pretty shitty Arkansas football here the last few weeks.
Bobby, Arkansas fans, we just felt sorry for Auburn. All right, so we still haven't got to Shane's lock of the week.
Oh, wait, that's right.
Or have we? You didn't mess up, did you? Okay.
No.
Well, I just want to remind the folks, MyBookie, head on over to mybookie.ag today, promo code that SEC. That'll double your initial deposit. There's a link in the show notes to hit it, and we're going to find out. Is it going to be this one, Shane? Is it Ole Miss at South Carolina? What a game this could be, Shane. Ole Miss favored by 9 points. The over-under is 53.5 total points. The game kicks off at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on ESPN. And yesterday, Shane, Lenora Sellers and running back Rocket Sanders both listed as questionable on the injury report. Usually when someone's questionable, they don't play. But Shane Beamer has come out today on Thursday and said both those guys, as well as Jared Brown, the receiver, will be listed tonight as probable. That's what he claims. So if you're probable, that means you are going to most likely play. So we'll see. It's kind of a big cloud hanging over this football game. But given that knowledge, Shane, who are you going with? Ole Miss at South Carolina.
Oh, Mike, this is a classic trap game, man. I mean, you're coming off a big upset. If you're Ole Miss, you just got your teeth kicked in on national TV. Everybody was watching you. We haven't watched you the first 4 weeks. The first time we see you is at noon, and you get your ass kicked by Kentucky. So I feel like this is a turnaround football game for Ole Miss. Unfortunately, they're going into a dangerous spot here, man. I mean, have you ever been to Columbia, Mike? Have you ever seen these wild, drunk, obnoxious fans? I've seen them firsthand, brother, and they cannot wait for a redemption game themselves. They are another program that should be undefeated right now going into this matchup. And, yes, I think it does kind of hint. You kind of sold me on the Sellers. I feel like you got to have them. If you have them, you have an opportunity to pull yourself an upset here. But I'm not convinced that Shane's telling us the truth. Most Shanes are honest, but this one, he's very, very sneaky with his probables and questionables, So I'm not convinced that we see him or Rocket, even though, man, they really need him during this matchup. Let William Bryce be rocking, man. I want them to play Sandstorm 5,000 times in this football game. I want the fans to be pumped up. You have an opportunity to knock off a powerhouse in Ole Miss. You got Juice Wells coming back. Oh, Judas Wells, as they call it. There's a lot of cool little storylines coming in here. Mike, I feel that comment say? Morristown Honda?
This has Morristown Honda written all over it.
Brother, doesn't it ever? I've never done this before, Mike, and I'm lying when I say that, but I think I'm about to change my score.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to flip-flop these. I'm going Morristown Honda this one. I'm changing it. Here's the thing. We talked about pretenders and defenders. I think Ole Miss is pretending. I think they had a great 4 weeks. I think they got exposed last week. You don't think that South Carolina's defense is worse than Kentucky? They're better. They are going to live in the backfield. They are going to make Ole Miss become one-dimensional, and I'm not convinced that Jackson Dart is the savior we were promised. I can't believe I'm doing this, Mike, but I think I'm pulling off an upset here. Yep. Give me South Carolina 28, Ole Miss 27. Double Honda this thing. Another upset. Lane Kiffin's fired. He's going to Florida anyway. Move on.
Cousin Brian says, did Shane's wife yell that score in?
There's something about this game that this is the one that's been bothering me all week, Mike, because I do think that South Carolina does not get the respect they deserve. They are a really good football team, especially on defense. And if Ole Miss, we've seen it last week, is shut down, becomes one-dimensional again, it's played keep away, which South Carolina has the opportunity. If Sellers is out there, I feel like they have an opportunity. And so when Coach comes out here and he says probable, I'm saying probable. That's why I'm switching it. If it were questionable and we had touchdown Robbie, I would have kept it the same. But if Sellers is out there, I think we have an opportunity to pull off an upset.
Well, again, this is a good opportunity to plug the interview again. Neil McCready, he calls this the biggest game of Lane Kiffin's career. So, I mean, it's that important for them Ole Miss Rebels, Shane. And there's a couple key factors in this one to consider. Again, I realize Ole Miss played cream puff schedule, but that's why these efficiencies are better than overall. But we got some strength on strength here. Shane, Ole Miss pass offense, number 8 in the country in efficiency. South Carolina pass defense, number 9 in the country. Strength on strength. We got now Ole Miss third down defense, number 4 in the country. South Carolina third down offense, 118th. So strength on weakness here. Those could be critical to the outcome of this football game. But much like you, Shane, I've been torn on this game all week. Shane Beamer and company. I mean, I think it. I've said it. If they win this game, he's probably going to be coach of the year. Like he's doing that great of a job. The defense is out of its mind. Never thought they'd be I thought they'd be improved. I didn't think they'd be this improved. Yeah. And all of a sudden, kicking Kentucky's ass looks like one of the most impressive wins this season. Not the biggest. Certainly you got to go Alabama over Georgia, Texas beating Michigan, things of that nature. Tennessee beating Oklahoma, but just the ass whooping that game was. I mean, it was not even competitive, and that was all on the road. You know what I mean? So that's a top 3, I would say, victory in the SEC so far this season.
Yeah.
Pretty damn impressive. And I count LSU as a win, too, because they stole that one from you. But that's neither here nor there. This week, Shane, we're going to find out for real, though. What's going on at Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Could this be, it was a couple years ago, Ole Miss role reversal. They beat Tim Tebow. Tebow came out here and said, hey, that was embarrassing. You'll never see another performance like that. And Florida won the national championship. We have seen Alabama, hey, again, role reversal, lose to Ole Miss. Hugh Freeze still living off that. It's 10 years ago. But they had like 5 turnovers. Alabama never lost a game. Again, they won the national championship. So these happen. Ohio State a couple years ago, when they won the national championship, lost to Virginia Tech, I think it was, early in the season. Mm-hmm. Sometimes these losses define your character, and they kind of push you in the right direction, because maybe you're cheating corners here, cheating corners there. And you can do that, Shane, when you're playing Furman and MTSU and Georgia Southern and all these garbage teams. You can cheat corners if you're that good, and you can get away with it. But you can't do that in the SEC. So we're going to find out this weekend. If Ole Miss loses, I'm writing them off. They're dead to me. Lane Kiffin is probably off Florida Gators, because I don't think these Ole Miss fans are going to keep paying these players. Why would they? If they're going to go 8-4, 7-5, I don't think they'll ever have an NIL collective as strong as they do if they don't win this game. That's a big reason. Neil McCready says it's the biggest game of the Lane Kiffin era. Lane Whiffen strikes again. Give me Ole Miss, Shane. Ole Miss wins it 30-20. I think Ole Miss is still elite. I think Kentucky just showed up, punched them in the mouth, and they were totally unprepared to handle it. And it caught up to them. I don't think that's the Ole Miss we're going to get all season long. I could be dead wrong. And this is not saying South Carolina's bad. I just think Ole Miss is playoff caliber. They shouldn't be in the discussion right now after losing. But they can climb their way back in. I think they're still of that caliber.
Lane comes across as a plan B kind of guy, like I'm going to do my best and I hope we win. But if we don't, I could say, well, I was kind of already out anyway, and I think that's what we'll look back as Ole Miss, the greatest team that never was, because Lane Kiffin already had one foot out the door. So I'm a little concerned with that locker room. I know they had the players only meeting, but I think one loss you can get away with. 2 losses, you're going to see a team that's really, that you're going to see I think a team that just tanks, after this. So you may be right. This may be the most important football game of Lane Kiffin's career right here.
Yep. All right. So we got one more, Shane.
Yeah.
Process of elimination up. I think this is going to be the one for you, but big time game here. Probably the best game of the day, at least the only ranked matchup. Missouri at Texas A&M. The milkman origin come from this game, because them Aggies, them fighting Aggies at home, favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 48.5 total points. The game kicks off noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ABC. Who do you like in this one, Shane? And you got to be feeling pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I am. And maybe it's through that half gallon of milk I drank, and maybe it's the reality set in that, you know what, maybe Texas A&M's a pretty good football team. I get it. They slipped out of the gate, and a lot of teams would. I think a lot of teams play an opponent like Notre Dame week 1 with a new coach, new regime, new pieces. There's so many different factors into that matchup that I think there's a natural level of forgiveness. The one thing is, though, I feel like A&M, what they've been missing, they discovered, and that's a quarterback. Say what you want about Connor Wigman. I think he's had opportunities. I think he's flashed at times, but consistently, I feel like Reed brings the quarterback play that this team needs. And Mizzou, I hate to say it, man, they've been pretending this whole time. I've not been convinced in any football game that I was right this year, Mike. I get the inferior opponents first 2 weeks, but the Boston College barn burner, the overtime with Vanderbilt, I'm not convinced that this team is as good as the team was last year. You know, I do feel like the defense took a step forward. I do feel like that Luther and Mookie and Theo are probably one of the best receivers, but unfortunately Brady can't get them the football anymore. But that's why they have bye weeks, Mike. That's why they have those little breaks to get healthy, to get right, to just come together as a family, which we're going to do after this show, and have us reunion. Because at the end of the day, Mizzou is undefeated. Mizzou deserves to be top 5. No, they probably don't deserve it, but they'll earn it. They don't deserve to be top 25, but I feel like they earn it this week, Mike. I can't believe I'm locking my boys here. But, Mike, I don't think this football game. I'm still convinced Texas A&M's a bad football team, and I think Missouri exposes it this week. So give me MIZ 31, A&M 21. Lock it down.
Ooh, buddy. Congratulations, Texas A&M. The curse of Cousin Shane strikes again. Have you picked A&M to win a damn game this year? Maybe just Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, I did. And again, pretenders. I feel like after this one, you said you were dead with Ole Miss. I may be done with Mizzou if they embarrass me again. But I do feel like this is a really good football team that just hasn't been on the same page, man. And I hope that this bye week was 14 days of getting back on the same page. And that's what I'm expecting to see Saturday with these guys.
Well, they better, Shane. They better damn well get right, because they're going down to a hostile environment, 100,000 screaming Aggies, going crazy down there, SEC nations down there. I mean, it's going to be a sight. Now, I do think Missouri caught a break, though, that this not being a night game. I think it could be worse.
Yeah.
But, I think Brady screwed up this week. I forgot to pull up the clip, Shade, but for anybody that missed it,
it's not loud.
He was asked about the crowd noise. He said, well, hell, it's louder at practice than it is in these damn games. What are you doing, son? No, they're going to blast you this week just to let you know it's a little bit louder down there in Kyle Field with them fighting Texas A&M Aggies coming after your ass. The defensive line's heating up. You said it there yourself, Shane. Marcel Reed's starting to look more and more comfortable every week. He's not making the mistakes. Now, he's not setting the world on fire either with his passing, but they haven't needed him to, Shane.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to establish the ground game, play action off of it, and then if things break down, have him run. Or just factor in his legs in the game plan. And so far it's working, Shane, because they've won 4 in a row. This kid has not lost a game as a starting quarterback. Yeah, he lost the bowl game, but he wasn't starter for that one. He's 4 in a row here, and he's got A&M, Shane, number 1 in the SEC right now, all over everybody. Shane, it's Texas A&M and nobody else right now, as crazy as that is to say. Meanwhile, everything you said about Missouri is true. It's hype. It's this, it's that. It's, man, look at all these guys they got. Oh, my God, Brady. Whoever said Brady Cook was the best quarterback in the SEC is a dumbass, I'll tell you that, because he's not looked it. He's just not looked himself. Now, they do got Nate Noel. He's starting to get going. But, again, that's why I said last week about JaQuinton Jackson. I said, this guy's out of this world. He's first team All-SEC. Texas A&M shut his ass down because they have that good of a front seven. So I don't think Nate Noel's going to be enough to win him this football game. It's got to be Brady Cook. It's got to be those receivers, Shane. And they have not done it this season. Give me Texas A&M 27, Missouri 28. Honda Morristown. Mizzou stays undefeated, but they may get exposed. I'm concerned, Shane, that they will get exposed this week. And Texas A&M just keeps getting better and better and better. But again, I'm kind of leaning with a team that's had 2 weeks to prepare, not coming off such a tough physical game. And again, if this was a night game, I'd probably flip these scores. But it's an early game. It's perfect for the away team. You get in there, you take care of business, you get the hell out of town. I think this game's going down to the wire, though. I don't have confidence in my pick.
Well, Mike, I think it comes down to efficiencies in the red zone. I feel like if you get an opportunity, one thing that Mizzou has been good at is putting points on the board. I feel like that continues to roll. And their defense. Both of these defenses are tenacious. They have the ability to create turnovers, but I need to see it. consistently, especially on that defensive front. Texas A&M, it felt like they took a big step forward last week. If they continue that, if you talk about when Mizzou had their toughest outings, it's when Brady was running for his life. So you've got to get back there. You got to create pressure. You got to get them out of the pocket. But on the flip side of that, if we make Reed one-dimensional where because he's still got that little skittish where he just wants to run. You make that happen, then I think you got him exactly where you want him. So still going to be an awesome football game. I just feel like Mizzou has a little bit of a redemption this week.
Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out cousin Bobby.
Hey, just in time, Bobby.
Yeah, just became a member of the channel.
Just like us family members that come in at the last minute and they eat everybody's food and they're like, who's this guy?
His name's Shane. So here's my pick, Shane. I got the graphic pre-ready this week again. I got Mizzou beating A&M as my Morristown Honda. Ole Miss beating South Carolina, Tennessee beating Arkansas, Georgia beating Auburn, Alabama beating Vandy, and the lock of the week, Florida beating Central Florida. So if this is the way it plays out, Shane, if the game's played out the way you think they are, what will be the big reactions, talking points come Sunday, you think?
Lane Kiffin already moving on. You know, I mean, obviously, if you have two big upsets back to back, I can't believe I changed it. I'm kind of having regrets on it, but I'm already there. I mean, if you lose to Kentucky and South Carolina back to back, that's before you go to LSU. Yeah, I think the storyline's going to be Lane whiffing.
Now, what if they lose to South Carolina but win the rest?
Doesn't matter. I mean,
10-2, you're in.
They can. You're saying they lose to Kentucky, they lose South Carolina, but you know what? They'll probably beat Georgia. They'll probably beat LSU on the road. Yeah,
they'll beat their ass. Come
on. No, I think that one. Unfortunately, I don't think South Carolina will get the credit. I think Lane Kiffin would get the blame.
Any thoughts on will Missouri be getting any love if they win, or will it be just
Yeah, I mean, they're going to say this is games they're supposed to win. This is why they were, ranked where they're at. Again, I don't feel like you're going to gain a lot. This is a crucial football game because you can lose more than you gain here. If you drop to A&M, then all of a sudden the I told you so's are going to come out, and that's what Mizzou can't afford to have right now. They need to show everybody that they belong in the top 12 discussion, that they need to be in the playoffs at the end of the year. And I think this is a football team that really had to take a long look in the mirror this week, and that's why I'm having a feel. I don't know if there's a player-only meeting, but I'm hoping that they did have some sort of coming together here and say, hey, we got to play, man. We got to play Mizzou football like we played last year, because people are starting to doubt us. And I felt like that's why they were so good last year, as so many doubters were on them. You know, they kind of played as a unit, and that's what they've kind of gotten away from. But I think they get right this week.
And so which game are you most confident in? Because you locked up Mizzou, but you don't seem confident at all in that selection.
No, I do. I feel confident in Mizzou.
Is that your most confident, though?
Well, Tennessee, but I don't lock them, because I don't know if you saw Good Time Daily. He put out I don't know who's running that account, but they put a Grim Reaper holding the pig, and I was like, damn, that's a nice picture, but I can't use it, and I didn't endorse it, so don't put that negative mojo out there. So again, I'm on the winning side.
Wait, Gus's Good Time Daily stealing your bit here?
Yeah, didn't even give me a sandwich, I like Good Time Daily. Have you been there? It's a fantastic establishment, but no, they didn't even say, hey.
Wait, this isn't Gus's Good Time, right?
Yeah.
On campus there?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go talk to him.
It wasn't
I know Gus.
my picture, but I mean, you have to type in AI Grim Reaper holding a pig. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all right. It's whatever.
Hey, Jimbo, hopefully Fisher, just became a member of the channel, Shay. He probably wants to come just curse me for an hour.
He's going to troll everybody in the family meeting.
Yeah, even Toby says, I thought Shane posted it, but it was Gus's.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I did not endorse. So I did not. So I do feel pretty confident about Tennessee. And it's not that I don't like Arkansas. I don't think that can be a football game. It's just, again, I told you that this is a team that, like 1 week, the Oklahoma State game, like that could have been a fluke. All right, whatever. But then you see it in Auburn. Then you see it last week. It's like, oh no, this is a trend. You know, I mean, as good as Green has been sometimes, there's a lot of folks that want the backup to come in. You know, it's like, yeah, that's where they're at right now.
Dakota says Brian Harson's going to join the chat next.
Oh, no, he hates us.
But let me ask you this real quick. Final thing here. What do you think most likely result in an emergency podcast on Saturday between all these games?
Emergency podcast. Billy losing. That would be a big one because he's probably.
What about Bama or Georgia losing?
Well, naturally, I think. Well, Georgia. That's the one losing to Vanderbilt. Any of those are going to get it. But definitely Billy going down. Tennessee losing, I think, would be a big one. Any of those upsets, I think, would be important. But other than that, well, shit, I just told you Lane Kiffin. I mean, there could be any upset almost exclusively gets an emergency podcast, you know?
Because Matt says, Shane, we thought you finally landed an NIL deal with Gus's there.
No, yeah. No food establishments want to give me anything, you know, not even coupons, you know?
Right. All right. Well, buddy, that's all we got. That's all I got. You got anything else before we hop on to do this family reunion?
You should tag Gus. Say, come on, man. Help the brother out with a sandwich at least, you know, and then I'll let you get away with the Grim Reaper holding a pig.
Yeah, this is 100% true story. Shane has reached out to restaurants, food places, and said, you can pay me in food. I was like,
I did. Cracker Barrel, and it still blows my mind. I'm not
how
asking
about Shane, ask for money, and then you could use that money to buy the food.
Maybe I should change my avatar where it's not my fat ass asking for the food. They're like, you know, maybe use you, and they'll be like, oh, we can afford this guy. But then they see me, and they're like, buddy, nope, fooled me once. They've got.
All right, so anything else for the family reunion, Shane?
No, man, looking forward to an awesome football weekend, brother. And we're going to be dialed in, tuned in, and anything crazy happens, make sure you got those notifications on. We'll be sure to alert you if you've not subscribed to the channel. What you doing with yourself, man? Get the subscription going. Get those notifications on. Close the comments down for a second. Hit the like button. That really helps us out. I don't know why, but it's what we got to do these days, kids. So, but other than that, no, I'm just ready for some, like I said, a great football weekend.
Mm-hmm. And again, the link to join the family reunion is on the YouTube page. You can only see it, though, if you're an official cousin to the channel. So, hey, happy football this weekend. It's going to be a great set of games. Power rankings Saturday night. Emergency podcast if necessary. I'll be ready to go. But that's all we got on this episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols.